Hello and welcome back to another Photoshop and After Effects tutorial. Today I will show you how to create this really clean animated Facecam overlay. And as always, I will release the project files including everything that I made in this video at 250 likes. So leave a like and let's open up Photoshop. So in Photoshop, let's create a new document, make it 1920 by 1080 and have the resolution at 72 and the background color on black. So create a new layer and go to our shape tool, right click and make it the rectangle tool. Just drag out a basic rectangle shape, and this window should pop up, and make the width 1280 and the height 720, and make it not a fill and make it a stroke, and add the stroke on 23 pixels. Then right click and rasterize our rectangle. Press Ctrl and R to bring out the guidelines. Drag from the sides and till they snap to the middle. Do the same for other axle. Then center our rectangle, just like that. Now take the polygonal lasso tool, zoom into the corners, and from about here, click, hold shift and drag to the sides. And from the middle, just drag up till hit the guideline and follow the guideline. To the middle here as well. Then press delete or backspace. Just now press M and highlight this area and press Ctrl and J. You can delete a rectangle layer. Duplicate it by pressing Ctrl and J, then Ctrl and T and flip it horizontally. Drag it to the middle. Select both layers and Ctrl and E to merge them, and Ctrl and J to duplicate them again. Ctrl T and rotate 180 degrees. Just drag up to the middle. Ctrl and E to merge the layers. So now you have the Facecam borders. So you can then create a clip mask over it. Go to a gradient tool and make it a blue grayish tone for highlights and a darker blue for the shadows. Okay, and from the middle press shift and drag to the sides. By the way, you can use Ctrl and H to hide the guidelines. So duplicate on our border, bevel and emboss, and the style on inner bevel, the technique at chisel hard, and the size at 1 pixel. Make the highlight mode overlay and white. Then inner glow as well. You can make it overlay and the size about 1 pixel. Create a new clip mask over the gradient. And medium brush, you can use Alt and drag to the sides to make it bigger or smaller. Then some white in this area, the top as well, and the sides. And X to change to black and dark around the corners. Then make it a blending mode overlay. You can drag down the fill a little bit, about 50%. Then make a new layer, right click on the shape and make it a rounded rectangle. Just create a basic thin line. You can make it blue, light blue. Then Ctrl and J to duplicate it, Ctrl T press shift and just rotate it. Then just merge them. Then position it around here. You can right click and rasterize it, and double click and go to inner glow. Okay, just like so. Then go to outer glow, make it blue, and the blending mode is green. Gonna increase opacity, maybe the size a little bit. Then let's duplicate it. Control and T and flip it. Drag it to the other side. Duplicate both. Flip it again. And drag it to the other corners. You can highlight all the layers. Press Ctrl and G to make a group. So let's zoom in on the corners. Make a new layer and select the polygonal lasso tool again. Create a small shape. Just like that. Make it black. Position it around here. And then duplicate it 2 times. So you have 3 shapes. Then merge them. Double click. On outer glow, make it a white. Then make it a blending mode, hard light, and lower the size and the highlight. So let's zoom out. Yep, just like that. And duplicate it and drag it to the other side as well. So now let's make a new layer over the gradient and use the polygonal lasso tool to create a basic shape, just like this. Try to make it even on both sides. Can fix that later though. And make it white. Press Ctrl and T and make it so it's in the middle. Then make it a blending mode overlay. Duplicate it again. Flip it 180 degrees. Drag it to the top. Then duplicate it again. And for the sides as well. And on the other side as well. So now let's zoom in on the left hand side. Go to the group where you have these. Right click and copy the layer style. Then make a new layer under the border. Press M for the marker tool. Just make a shape just like this. Control and backspace to fill it in. And just so you barely see it, double click and choose color overlay. Make it the same blue as this one. Right click and rasterize the layer style. Then right click again and paste layer style. Double click and drag down the size on the outer glow. Create a new layer and make it a clippy mask. Choose the brush, make it a little bit bigger, black on the corners and white in the middle, and make it overlay. Just drag down the fill to around 50%. Create a new layer over the, the blue line. choose black, just darken it a little bit, just like that. Then highlight every layer, Ctrl J, and then Ctrl T and flip it horizontally, and drag it to the other side as well, just like that. You can group the border and group the blue lines, just like that. Then name the groups to whatever you want. Then you can drag the shape to the face cam, so it's one group. Alright, so for our next part, we'll do the bar down here that will show your donations and your recent subscribers or followers. So create a new layer. You can zoom in a little bit. Then Ctrl and H to show the guidelines, and Ctrl R just drag out the guidelines to the edge of our border. Press M on your keyboard for the marker tool. Just drag out a box, something like that, and just fill it in with Ctrl and backspace. Create a new layer and make it a clip mask. Then go to our gradient tool, and you should have the same gradient as before. So from the top middle here, just drag to the left corner, create a new layer and make it a clip mask. Go to a brush tool, make the brush a little bit bigger, and just black around the edges here. Can make it a bit smaller, and let's create a drop shadow, just like that, and then make it the blending mode overlay. You can drag down the fill till you're happy. Double click on the bar layer, make it inner glow, just overlay and a small size. You can drag up the choke a little bit. Then Ctrl and H to show our guidelines, and create a new layer under the bar. Grab the polygon and lasso tool and create a shape, kind of like that. And I'm pressing down Shift, Ctrl and backspace. You can duplicate it, just flip it, and merge them. Make a new layer and make it a clippy mask. You can grab the gradient tool from the middle as well. You can drag down the fill on the gradient as well. Double click on the first layer and make it in the glow as well. We can drag down the opacity a little bit. Over the gradient, make a new layer, zoom in, and then you can grab the rounded rectangle tool again and drag out a simple bar, something like that. Right click and rasterize it, double click and use color overlay, and zoom out. Grab the same blue as you used before, in the glow, and some outer glow. Perfect. Then you can select these layers and Ctrl and G to make it a group, just like that. Oh, sorry, I forgot something. So make a new layer over the gradient and make it a clippy mask as well. You can drag down the size of the brush and make it darker on the corners and make it overlay. You can drag down the fill a little bit. Do the same thing for the bar here, the blue bar. Oh, you also need to right click and rasterize the layer style. So make it darker, change to white and make it the blending mode overlay. You can drag down the fill to around 40%. just like that. Zoom in on the bar, select the bar layer, go to a polygonal lasso tool around here and press shift and just cut it so it matches the edge of our shape. Do the same thing on the other side. So over the bar, create a new layer. So now we want to make a bit of a text logo or whatever you want to call it. So grab our text tool. I'm gonna use the font Platea. I'm gonna leave it in the description below. I'm just gonna type out your name. Make the name part a little bit bigger, just like that. You can select both layers, duplicate them, and then merge them. Then drag it below our real text layers. Press Ctrl and hover our window, if you want to call it. Then just left click. Then you see the text is selected. Then go to select, modify, and expand. And expand it by 8 pixels. Then Ctrl and backspace to fill it in. Make a new layer and make it a clip mask. Go to a gradient tool again. From the middle, just drag out. And I lower the fill like that. And I want to make the name a blue color. You can double click on it. I go to gradient tool, make it soft light. No, make it overlay. Then inner glow. Then go to outer glow. Gonna make it the size a lot bigger. I'm gonna make it the blending mode hard light. Select a lighter blue. Just like that. You see there are still some places that are not filled in. So grab our polygonal lasso tool and I'm just gonna fill it in just like this. Then Ctrl and backspace. Oh, just fill in with the black. So when you're happy with your border, double click on our border to bring out the layer style and press stroke. I'm gonna use the same blue color. I have the position on inside and the size at 2 pixels. So it looks something like this. It's really clean, especially for face cams. You can select all your layers and group them. Drag them to the top and let's position it where you want it to be. So now we're gonna create the box where your recent donations and subscribers will be. So over the bar, create a new layer, zoom in. You can control an edge. Gonna create a guideline so it fits our text. Just like that maybe. Okay. So grab your polygonal lasso tool again and press shift and from around here drag to your guideline till around here. Then like 2/3 of the way you can drag sideways and then finish it. Then Ctrl and backspace to fill it in. Okay, so make a new layer and make it a clippy mask. So we're gonna use our same gradient, drag to the side and decrease the fill. So double click to bring up our layer styles. We're gonna use pattern overlay, and we're gonna use this preset and make it a blending mode overlay. Mess with the size or the scale as well. Then create a new layer and make it a clippy mask. Gonna use a brush, small brush, and white, just one stroke. Control and T to transform it. Gonna make it quite wide, just like that, and make it a blending mode soft light, and make sure it's over our gradient. We're gonna decrease the fill as well. Then control and hover over our layer and click so it's selected. Go to our bar and press delete. Okay, now it looks really good. So we're gonna select everything, every layer, duplicate it and flip it to the other side. Control and select it and delete on our border or bar, whatever you want to call it. Let's add our icons. So for the donations, I'm going to choose a $sign, and for the subscriber, I'm going to choose a star. So let's visit flat icon. I'm going to search up $. Just download it as a PNG, then drag it to Photoshop and just drop it for now. I'm going to search up a star as well, just like that, and just drag it above everything. Select both and resize both layers. So for a star, we can shrink it as well. Gonna double click, make it blue, the same blue as you used on the text. Then inner glow and some outer glow as well. So we're gonna position it. Then we can right click and copy our layer style and paste it to the $sign as well. So take this $sign, Control T to resize it. So now we're pretty much done in Photoshop. So you could leave it as it is, but I'm gonna show you how to animate it as well in After Effects. Alright, so before we hop into After Effects, make sure you have everything grouped. So here I have the text logo, the 3 points, 4 points, blue bars, the icons, etc. And all you need to do is save the PSD, because we're gonna use it later in After Effects. Just go to File and Save. Alright, so in After Effects, create a new composition, make it 1920 or 1080, or if you stream in 720p, make it 1280 and 720, and change the frame rate to the frame rate you're streaming in. So if you're streaming in 30, choose 30 here. I'm gonna use the duration for 10 seconds. Yes, okay. Then just drag your PSD that you saved into the composition, and this window will pop up. And make sure the import kind is composition, and the layer option is editable layer styles. Press OK. Here you can see you have all the layers and groups from your PSD. So just import every group. Then we can rename the layers to what they represent. So here we have the icons. So just right click and rename them to icons, and do this for every layer. So let's start off by making every layer a 3D layer, as well as activating motion blur. So press this like box on every layer, as well as the 3 circles. Then click the 3 circles on top to activate it. If you can't see this, just press toggle switches. It should be down here. I don't know why I can't see it, but it should be down here. So first we're gonna make the shine on the bar down here. So go to Effects and Presets and search up CC Light Sweep and drag it to your bar layer. You can see the light is already there, I'm gonna increase the edge intensity and edge thickness to around 5 and make the light color a light blue and increase the sweep intensity just a little bit. So click down, go to effects, light sweep. So now we're gonna animate the sweep. So at 0 seconds, make a keyframe for the center, and you can see this point here. So I'm just gonna drag it till you can't see it anymore. And around 2.5 seconds later, I'm gonna drag the same point across the bar till you can't see it anymore. Select both keyframes, right click, keyframe assistance, I'm gonna ease them. We can also use F9 to ease them. Gonna see how it looks. Right, so now we're gonna animate it when it comes back. So make a keyframe for the direction, make it -30. And when you can't see it, when it's off screen, make it +30. Then make a new keyframe for the center. Around 2.5 seconds later, I'm gonna drag the same point to the other side till we can't see it anymore. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so I'm gonna mess around with these a little bit. Make it look a bit faster. Try to make it so it's even. So when the light sweep finishes, we're gonna animate the flip of the text logo. So around 5 seconds, 4.5. Click down on our text logo and then transform. And because we activated the 3D layer, we can now animate the X, Y and Z rotation. But as you can see, the anchor point is in the middle. So we're gonna grab the anchor point tool or Y on your keyboard. We're gonna drag it to the center of our text, roughly. And as you can see, it now flips around that anchor point instead. So after the light sweep animation finishes, create a keyframe for the Y rotation. And about 2 seconds later, just slide to right till it hits 1, just like that. Select both and F9 to ease. Then go to graph editor and be sure you have edit speed graph. Just drag the right slider all the way and just a little bit just like that maybe. So let's see how it looks. Right, looks awesome. Okay, so when the flip finishes around here, we're gonna drag the CC light sweep to our Facecam border. I'm gonna animate that as well. I'm just gonna mess around with the intensities of the light sweep. So click down on the face border, effects, CC light sweep, and we're gonna make a keyframe for the center. So drag the same anchor point to the corner. Around 2.5 seconds later, do the same anchor point to the other corner till you can't see the light anymore. Highlight both and F9 to ease. So let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks really clean. As the light sweep comes across the face cam, we're gonna do the same flip like we did on text on the icons. And because the layers are compositions, we can double click on the icons. I'm gonna animate them separately, and that's gonna affect on the main composition as well. So let's start off by animating the star. We're gonna drag the anchor point again to the middle of the star. like that. And around 7 seconds, get a keyframe for the Y rotation. Go to 1.5 or 2 seconds later and drag to right to flip it. Okay, so just like that. Select both and F9 to ease ease. Then go to our graph editor. Make it simple. You can drag both inwards just like that. So let's see how it looks. Looks really clean. So if we go back to our main composition, you can see that the star flips. Then go back to our icon composition. Do the same thing for the $sign as well. Drag the anchor point to roughly the middle. And here you can see the anchor points from the star. We're gonna try to match them. Create a keyframe for the Y rotation. Go to when the star finishes and drag till it says 1. Highlight both and F9 to ease ease. Go to graph editor and create a simple graph just like this. So let's go back to see how it looks. Alright, looks awesome. So we have animated the bar with the light sweep. We have flipped the text, create a light sweep for the face cam, and flipped the icons as well. All that is left is to export the animation. So we can start off by hiding our background and click this layer to make it transparent. Go to composition and add to render queue. I'm gonna leave the settings up to you, but one thing that is important to change is go to output module and change the channels to RGB plus alpha. This will actually make it transparent so you can see your gameplay and your face. So then just click render when you're happy with your settings. So if you come this far, you've created a really clean animated face cam. And I want to thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.